The 9 have been chosen. The magnificent 9. What's a good adjective to describe the 9?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, the government has chosen 9 blockchains that they've first time ever using the blockchain. The United States government has published the GDP earnings on 9 blockchains. Which are the 9 and what does it mean? They've also picked 2 oracles and 3 exchanges. I'm sure you can figure out the oracles, Chainlink and Pith. But the exchanges, interesting. We'll talk about that. Update on Kronos. We have Devin Nunes, who I think runs the Trump Media Group and their partnership with Crypto.com, and he used to work in Congress, and so he had a 4-minute interview, and we got to hear what he talked about with Kronos. Speaking of Kronos, absolutely crushing, about to hit 40 cents. We'll check in on Robin's Radium trade. Is that in the green? It was briefly yesterday. I didn't close it though. Is it a sabotage attempt, or do we think it's going higher? Also, Solana, traders dropped by 81%. Does Robin still think Solana fall? Get it? Summer and fall. Solana summer is still on the horizon. We're going to talk about the winners that were picked this cycle. We're going to talk about AVE. We're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to talk about Kronos. We're going to talk about Chainlink. We're going to talk about all the altcoins. We have that. And also the Crypto Confessions brought to you by none other than Ashley. Looks like she's wearing the shoe she bought. We got her, so we should show that. But we have that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! Is your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content where we take old, boring, stale information, repackage it all up in a fun, sexy way. And, well, we saw a little movement out of Solana today. You know, I think that Solana. I think that and its ecosystem is going to be the headlines for the next, I would say, 60 days. Not to say that ETH and alts won't perform well, but Solana is absolutely moving. I know you look at the charts, you might say Solana's even for the day. It's at 210, it's the same as yesterday, but Solana is up 15%. It's over $200. It is on the week up from $180. On the month, you can go back and find Solana as cheap as $150. You can look that it's just really consolidated all year long as well. And so you ask yourself, if Solana is going to perform well this bull market, is now the time for the breakout? I say yes. I think it's here. David, you said something about Solana fall. What were you saying?
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out a name because you didn't fucking help. Thanks. The Magnificent 7. I need something for the 9, So the Noble 9, the Supreme 9, the Elite 9, the Power 9, the Empire 9, the Legendary 9, the Dazzling 9. What do you like better? What?
Why are you trying to brand the number 9 slogan?
Because I'm trying to create a trend here, dude. Anyways, Ashley, what do you like? Which of those do you like?
What are you asking me?
So the 7 biggest stocks, they call it the Magnificent 7. And then the U.S. government picked 9 blockchains. So I'm trying to come up with something like the blank 9, So I asked ChatGPT, the Supreme 9, the Elite 9, the Dazzling 9, the Legendary 9. What do you like? Wow, you're just as useful as Robin is. That's pretty awesome, guys.
Anyways.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. Why don't you throw a foot up there? Let's see those shoes.
Throw a foot up there?
Yeah, let's see the shoes, man.
How am I supposed to do that?
Shoes.
I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Can we?
You literally lift your foot to the camera. There we go. Look at those Jordans.
I can't see. There we go.
Have you said thank you once?
Are you
Have you even
shitting me right now?
Once?
Are you shitting me?
She's been sitting here. She hasn't even thanked us once, Mr. President.
Mr. President?
Mr. President.
When Zelensky got grilled from J.D. Vance, said, have you even said thank you one time?
You guys
now
are on. David is calling me Mr. President. I actually see that's the name I can get behind.
You too. No.
That's a slogan I can get behind. Change the banner underneath from Loudspoken Crypto Excerpt to the President.
I also want to know. Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you done?
Yeah, today's show is going to be really cool, guys. Really excited for today's show, man. Are you still taking confessions for this week?
If people would like to send them in, I would love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ashley's Crypto Confessions brought to you by Ashley. We'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, yeehaw, yeah. Okay, I see Sublime 9. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that.
Do
Anyway.
you want to explain to the new audience, new viewers here, what Ashley's confessions are?
Yeah, what are the
You got
confessions?
20 minutes to submit
Ashley confesses her weekend, what happened in
and
Vegas.
then put it in the chat as well.
So I put the email in the chat. You can send your confession to us. I'll read it, and then we'll talk shit about you.
Wow.
But anonymously, so we don't know who we're talking about.
Ah,
Yeehaw.
Dad's watching. Whose dad's watching? Interesting.
Okay.
Your dad watching the show, Rob?
It's Mr. President.
It ain't my dad,
It's
'cause my dad-
Mr. President.
Mr. President. Thank you.
Sorry, Mrs. President. Madam President. Okay, what do I mean? I keep throwing this number 9 out there with some weird names behind it. Well, here it is. The United States Department of Commerce posts their second quarter GDP numbers, and they've done it on the blockchain. They've picked 9 blockchains to post it on. We're going to uncover them now. GDP increased, and this is what was lost upon everyone. GDP increased at an annual rate of 3.3% in 2025 from July of 2025, July of last year to July this year. So everyone's freaking out. Why? They're like, if the economy's doing good, the Fed's not going to cut rates. I'll get Rob's opinion on that in a second. This is the first time a federal agency has published economical statistical data like this on the blockchain. There was 9. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Tron, Stellar Lumens, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Polygon, and Optimism. So 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 9 are Ethereum directly related. You have Bitcoin on its own, Solana on its own, Tron, Stellar, and AVAX, although AVAX is EVM compatible. The data was also further disseminated through coordination with the oracles Pyth and Chainlink. And the exchanges, Coinbase, Gemini, and Kraken, they help facilitate the department's publishing. It also aims to demonstrate a proof of concept for all of government and to build on the Trump administration's historic efforts to make the United States of America the blockchain capital of the world. Let me tell you this. Love him or hate him, the man has done everything he said he was going to do. He has stood by every promise he made to the crypto community. And this is exciting, man. This is very, very exciting. In my opinion, this is just the beginning of many. I do have this post here from Chainlink. We're excited to announce that Chainlink and the United States Department of Commerce have worked together to bring U.S. government macro data on chain. The new Chainlink data feeds securely deliver critical information around key U.S. economy metrics sourced from the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Metrics include GDP, personal consumption expenditures, also known as PCE, and real final sales to private domestic purchasers. Bringing key U.S. government data on chain unlocks innovative use cases for blockchain markets, including automated trading strategies, increased composability of tokenized assets, issuance of new types of digital assets, and a few more they have listed here. So, before we discuss how big this is, I want to discuss how much we love our channel sponsors. Today's show is brought to you by Stake.us. And well, if you want to try out Stake and you just maybe you don't have a computer, maybe your laptop broke, maybe you lost it going deep sea fishing, they got a mobile app now. Download it in the App Store, whether it's a Google or Apple iOS. Download it, play some games, have some fun. I'm in talks with the team over at Stake, see if we can get something going for our community, maybe a private poker game online. Rob, myself, and we'll see how many people can get in there. But either way, you're going to want to download the app, create an account, support the channel. Big thank you to Stake for being a channel sponsor. Now, Rob.
Okay, awesome.
Department of Commerce. First time ever publishing anything on the blockchain. 9.
Yes.
2 and 3. Thoughts?
9, 2, and 3.
9 blockchains, 2 Oracle feeds, and 3 exchanges.
Yes. So one of my big takeaways is that we could obviously
Here we go.
toot the horn
Here we go,
for.
Debbie Downer. Come on, let's hear it.
No, I'm not Debbie Downing. I'm saying we can obviously toot the horn for oh, this is amazing. The U.S., like, could you imagine if we would have had this news break in 2020, 2021? It would have been so crazy. The markets would have blown up. Markets really haven't moved that much, even though the U.S. is using blockchain to publish its data. Pretty bullish. I'm not going to try to hype it up more than it already is. It's pretty big news. But my thing is they chose 9 blockchains. And so a lot of times we always have this discussion. XRP is a good example, right? We always say, oh, the banks are going to use blockchain. Who are they going to pick? XRP. And we've always said to you, like, hey, more than likely there's going to be a pool of winners, right? No institution, no government is going to go all in on one point of failure or one blockchain because, well, it's just not in their best interest, right? You get 4 different. When you're doing business, if you have an opportunity to work with 4 vendors or 4 buyers or 4 representatives or whatever it is, then at that point, if for one thing, it spurs competition, right? And when spurring competition, if you get one bid from one person, you might go to the other and be like, hey, man, this guy told me he'd do it for $1 or, $1 per unit or whatever it is. Anyways, it's the same principle here. And my big takeaway is that we always sit here and try to hype up that there's going to be one blockchain to win it all. But I would say to you, like, I don't think so. I think that you're going to get 9 blockchains, right? I think that this is going to be more common. I think that Bank of America, when they start using blockchain and they start moving money internationally and they start moving money domestically and they're starting to offer crypto services, it won't be with one exchange. It won't be with one blockchain. It won't be with one Oracle. It's going to be a suite of services. It's going to be a large group of blockchains. And this is just one example of what's to come. But take note, because if you're one of those 9, I mean, you're pretty much solidified to be
9
5 years, right?
German 9 means yes.
That is German, yes. So if you're one of the 9, you agree though, or here, let me see if you agree.
Okay.
Of those 9 blockchains, is there any way, barring some crazy event, that all 9 aren't prominent blockchains moving forward? Say 5 years from now, 7 years from now.
Okay, let's go through it. Bitcoin, here to stay. ETH, here to stay. Solana, here to stay. Tron, as long as Justin Sun is alive, here to stay. Stellar. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good. Like if you're a holder of one of these and you're like thinking long term, you're like, hey man, I'm holding this for. I think it's a good move, dude. I think Polygon's a play now.
Yeah, I think
sold on my Polygon.
Polygon hasn't. Polygon's done pretty well.
Rob, think about this. Well,
in the last couple of months.
Obviously, this is good for these. Now, to your point, I do want to mention something, okay?
Yep.
Although there was not one selected winner of a blockchain, there is one winner out of all of this that no matter how many blockchains, which ones they go with, is the clear winner. And to me, that is Chainlink. Not only are they providing the Oracle services, but they're also going to be providing the interoperability via CCIP if it ever comes to that. So they can go Solana, they can go BNB, they can go Cardano, whatever they want to do. It's all going to be facilitated by Chainlink and the cross-chain interoperability protocol, also known as CCIP. Let me ask you this question. No Cardano, no XRP Ledger, no Hedera. Does that concern you?
No, I mean it's
Tron. Like the whole thing with the U.S. Look at the exchanges they picked, Rob. They picked Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken. All U.S. exchanges, correct? Solana, made in USA crypto. Stellar, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Optimism. I don't know if Polygon is, but
do you think GDP, that number, is highly influenced by trade and exports to Asia and China?
Well, it's a cumulative formula.
And also, I know it is, but I'm just saying that part of the equation is imports, exports.
But it takes every country.
I know, but who's our number one trade partner?
China.
Okay.
China.
So wouldn't you want data analytics, a touch point to Asian markets when it comes to measuring GDP?
I don't know if that's a good thesis, man.
Then
So
what
just-
else? Then if not that,
But we get
then-
our own, but we don't depend on them to get the data. We have our own data. Like how much do we export there?
I understand that.
So I
I'm
don't- I
not
don't
saying
get the
that
point you're trying to
I'm
make.
not saying that we're picking up the phone and calling China and be like, hey, how many did we export? Like, come on, no.
How many coffees do you send your way?
But I do think that having a touch point when it comes to data outside of the U.S. that isn't run by a U.S.-based company, I think it makes sense, right? Otherwise, okay. So there's two reasons Tron is in this basket, right? One, Justin Sun gives a lot of money to Trump and bought a lot of the Trump token. That's number one. Or two, Tron is just the hub of it is in China. That's Hong Kong, China, Singapore. It's how money moves on blockchain over in Asia. And so which one is it? Maybe it's a combination of the two. I don't know, but that's probably why it's there.
Okay. Anything else you take away from this? I mean, we all agree this is the first step, correct?
No.
The first step.
It's the first step. There's things that make a lot more sense. I think that like when you look at blockchain and data, it's like, hey, like why not have one place where the data is just constantly verified and constantly uploaded and anyone can pull data? I think blockchain makes a lot of sense, right? If you're going to say publish GDP data, which markets globally are looking at, particularly Wall Street, they're looking at the data to see like, hey, how is the U.S. economy doing? You can pull that data up in real time. It's all verified, not manipulated. It's stored on the blockchain. And so it's like, makes sense. But what I'm thinking is when are we going to get Social Security cards on the blockchain? Right? Right now, a Social Security card is a piece of paper that, God forbid you wash it in your jeans, is done. That's it. Of all the technology we've gotten to this point, right? The one piece of information that says you're American for the most part is a Social Security card. And it comes in the mail on a piece of paper you rip out a little dotted cutout area. That's it. How do you get it? With the birth certificate. And so I think that like if you were to say, hey, like we'll keep Social Security cards on the blockchain, first of all, it's a heightened security, right? It's verified and it can be, you could use your Social Security card through the blockchain to verify who you are. I think that makes way too much sense. And then also you got an administration out here trying to crack down on immigration, particularly illegal immigration. And I'm pretty sure that Social Security cards is a glaring hole for immigrants to work here and be here illegally. And so I don't think it's that far of a stretch to sit here and think that Donald Trump might just wake up one day and be like, hey, we're putting Social Security cards on the blockchain. That way we can like track this and prevent fraud. It's better than the paper cutout system that we have right now.
I agree. And there's going to be a lot more. This is just the beginning. And so there's just, I constantly sift through.
But what do you think about Social Security cards?
Yeah, I mean, to just make everything easier. The home titles.
But with Social Security cards, Trump's whole thing is fighting illegal immigration.
Correct.
The Social Security card is literally a piece of paper that can be ruined if you throw it in the washing machine.
Correct.
It can be photocopied
Yes.
easily.
Yes.
And it's the most like duplicated
You can say the same
document.
thing about driver's license, IDs.
Yeah, but at least the driver's license is like laminated and it has like holograms
Listen, I
in
don't
it
know
and you
about
can
your
scan
parents,
it.
but my mom, she laminated our Social Security cards.
You're not supposed to do that.
Really? I lied. My mom did not actually do that. I don't know what I was saying. Someone else's mom did that. Why are you not supposed to do that?
I don't know. It literally says it when you receive
Don't
it.
laminate?
You only get 9 Social Security cards, right?
Fuck.
In your lifetime.
So if you lose 9, you're fucked.
Yeah, after 9, you don't get no more.
Sorry, you got to leave the country. I've been here 30 years, Mr. President. Sorry.
Like you lost your Social Security card 9
This
times.
is the 9th time. Unacceptable. Man. All right. Guys, there is just, what I was saying is, there is so much bullish news. So much bullish news. The same way Rob and I, when Bitcoin, what was Bitcoin down to? 70K, remember Rob? 74K. Everyone was calling for the end of the bull market. And I know for a fact, my thing was, I just cannot subscribe to the idea that the bull market is over when we're just every single day getting bullish news after bullish news.
You can subscribe to Sin City Crypto if you haven't. If you would like to support the channel, I know there's a lot of people here that haven't subscribed. Shame on you.
Yeah. Also, if you're coming over from the HBAR video we just posted, welcome. We'll talk a little bit about HBAR as well. Now, remember I said there was announcements with everyone's talking about, they're working with the Trump and Kronos, Crypto.com's working with the Trump media. And I was like, Justin Sun somewhere. He said he's got an announcement. Well, here's I guess his announcement. His Excellency Justin Sun, in parentheses, astronaut version, blue check mark, Tron symbol. Welcome to Hong Kong, Eric Trump and Lara Trump. So my boy can't be left out, man. He can't be left out. I feel like, never mind, I should probably keep my mouth shut. So yeah, this is big news, guys. We said it yesterday. Justin Sun can't be left out. He's got to be the center of attention. And well, what are they talking about? I don't know. Maybe they're talking about the best pho. Wait, pho is Vietnamese. Mandarin chicken. Let's talk about Ethereum.
What?
Shut up. ETH ETF flows posted by Matt Hugin from Bitwise. ETF flows in August. Bitcoin, 800 million said bye-bye. Ethereum, 4 billion said hello. There is relentless bid for ETH at the moment. Look at that divergence, Rob. 4 billion.
I think a lot of institutions that had early exposure to Bitcoin
At 60K?
at 60, 80, even 90K.
They 2x their money.
Yeah. And
we're not talking like thousands of dollars. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
now,
that have
some are rebalancing just to simply get to an arbitrary number like 2 or 3%. Or they're just diversifying into alts and saying like, hey, we're going to keep our 2% position on
rotation.
Yeah.
Bitcoin ETH.
Yeah, they're just saying like, hey, like we came in and we said we're going to get a 2% allocation on our portfolio or our assets on hand or whatever it is. We're going to get 2%. We're going to keep that in Bitcoin. They bought in at 70,000. They're up like, 70% or something like that. And then they're like, hey, let's get back to the 2%. Keep our number. Instead of realizing profits and moving it back into the treasury, let's just hold Ethereum as well. And then I think that's what you're seeing. I think that to some degree is what we are seeing. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, there's a guy named Jan. Van Eck, the founder? His name is spelled Jan. So when I went up to the booth at the conference, I think it was a Bitcoin conference, I was like, is Jan around? And the lady looked at me, Jan, who's Jan? I'm like, the founder, like Jan. Anyways, Jan Van Eck is here on Fox Business, and he was talking about Ethereum. And take a listen to what he had to say.
Ether has suddenly reared its head and hit new records.
It's very much what I call the Wall Street token. And what I mean by that is, if you think that because of stable coins now, every bank, and they are, and every financial services company has to have a way of taking in stable coins. If I want to send you stable coins, your bank has to figure it out, or you will find some other institution to do that. So the winner is who's going to be building on these blockchains. It's going to be some Ethereum or something that uses Ethereum's kind of methodology, which is called EVM. And so that's why ETH is because the Wall Street CTO is going to turn around saying, what the hell is this stuff? When am I going to build on? And it's going to be Ethereum.
He called Ethereum Wall Street token. Rob, do you agree with Jan?
If RWAs become what we expect them to, it's going to be a true statement. Currently, it's not the Wall Street token. It's not.
So you're going against Jan.
It's not. It could very well be. If we tokenize everything in a similar way that you tokenize ownership of a company through shares of stocks, and you trade those on Wall Street, if instead of representing the shares of the company on stocks through Wall Street, you represent shares of companies or shares of an apartment or shares of equities, shares of, I don't know, commodities like gold. If you issue those out on the blockchain and then you trade those on Wall Street, I would be surprised to see 5 years from now, when we look at index funds, we see NASDAQ, Dow Jones, S&P 500, and then an index that is cryptos. What do you think about that?
I agree.
And it'll be a headline at the top as well.
I just don't like...
And the index will not only be individual ETF blockchains, but it'll also be RWAs. I think it'll be more all-encompassing. In the same way that the Dow Jones is an industrial index, right? You take a lot of the top industrial companies, they're thrown into the Dow Jones, and to some degree technology as well. But I think you'll have an index funds for crypto. And I think that you're going to have lots of ETFs like Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana and all that. But I do think that just
you said
RWAs.
If RWAs. Well, what's your hesitation? If what? You don't think they're coming on chain?
RWAs are coming on chain. I just don't know if they're going to be dominant on Wall Street.
Why would they not be? That's their money hack.
I believe that's the direction it's going. However, you also are saying that, like, hey, if not done correctly, you're going to let money flow out of the current structure that Wall Street is already set up in, and you're going to let that value move into private blockchain and other people, right? And so could you find a situation where Wall Street's like, hey, we're going to keep things separate. We're going to let blockchain operate. It'll be ETF. You can buy the underlying token. Or they're going to just say, like, hey, you know what? We're not going to use stocks anymore. We're going to do everything RWA. We're going to track and trade shares of a company through real world asset tokenization on a blockchain. And we're going to say screw our whole system. Well, I don't know if they'll do that.
Well, the important thing too, though, is unless it's going to be paper, you're assuming that these tokenized funds are going to be backed by the actual asset. And so it's going to help them that way as well. I think it's a win-win all the way around. But I agree. If they don't have anything in place to capture that money when it moves away from their system into Web3, if they don't have a way of capturing that money and finding a place for it and of use for it, then sure. But I think they're already working on that. So I
agree. That's the direction we're going. The direction is the tokenization of everything on blockchain traded through Wall Street. I think that's what is shaping up to happen. However, that would also mean upending the entire financial system that we have now that is Wall Street. And I just don't, I can't just blindly say, like, hey, we're doing this 100%. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk one more thing on ETH, and we'll move on to Bitcoin, then we'll send it over to Ashley for the crypto confessions. Goldman Sachs leads institutional Ethereum ETF holdings with $721 million of exposure, followed by Jane Street at $190 million and Millennium at $186 million, according to their 13F filings. And we have this, some Bitcoin news. Tether is to expand USDT to support Bitcoin, enabling native USDT transfers to Bitcoin wallets. Bitcoin got USDT before Cardano. Huh? Very interesting. Very interesting. We also have this. Look who's a Bitcoin maxi now. JP Morgan says Bitcoin looks undervalued when compared to gold. Oh, how times have changed. Jamie Dimon is the one that said it was a pet rock, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Charlie Munger said it's rat poison. I'm sure some other people said some other shit, but yeah.
And JP Morgan did come out
and literally close people's fucking accounts.
Yeah, they closed their accounts, but also,
we remember that, JP Morgan
it wasn't this Jackson Hole meeting, but the previous one.
I think you're talking about Davos in Switzerland.
Yeah, maybe it was Davos. No. It was
Jackson Hole.
Hole. Maybe it was last year or the year before.
Was there snow in the background?
I think no.
It was in
no. And anyways,
Okay.
Jamie Dimon came up and still doubled down on the fact that he did not believe in
Bitcoin.
and Bitcoin. Yeah. He didn't go as far as saying it's a pet rock. That one's a sound bite from when was that? I think it was like
I'm pretty sure that was at
2018 or 2017.
that was at the WEF meeting or the.
It was a while ago, but then
it was a World Economic Forum. I think.
But then it was just like a year or two ago. He was still holding strong that he didn't believe in crypto and that it was not here to stay. And well, it's funny how.
I mean, but here,
it's funny
at
how
some point. Okay, at some point, like you got a girl that's just cheating on you, and like your one friend tells you, "Hey, your girl's been cheating," and then another friend tells you, and they're like, "No way, she wouldn't do that," and then everyone starts telling you, and then at some point you're like, "Fuck it," like it's probably happened. You don't have a choice. JP Morgan realized they don't have a choice but to jump on the bandwagon.
No, here's the thing. Before anyone tells you she's cheating on you, you already know. You just lying to yourself.
That's not true. Some dudes are.
No.
Yeah, no, that's not true at all.
You know your girl is unfaithful before anyone else says it.
Okay.
Yeah. My man has been burned a couple times.
Or you got coworkers telling you, "Hey, your best friend's dating this one chick." Like, no way. And then more coworkers tell you, and you're like, no way. And then eventually it happens. So people just let this shit go. And at some point, again, you do not have a choice. JP Morgan does not have a choice. And so they're sitting here, and hey, you're going to see more and more of those. The question then becomes, the number 2 asset manager in the world, which is Vanguard, are they going to cave and offer the ETF? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Ashley, let's do some crypto confessions.
Okay.
Wait, first we got there.
Thank you. Aw, I love this. This is so cute.
Oh, it's so cute.
So cute.
Okay.
Okay.
So who's this one from?
Hello?
It's supposed to
It's a
be
joke. It's a joke.
Well, this one, everyone probably already knows who this is from. In Chicago.
Oh, well, definitely know who that's from. Let me guess. It's a 6-sum.
No, it's actually not.
No sexual. Okay, interesting.
In Chicago, I once slashed a guy's tires for littering in front of my place. Here's the story. I asked him about the littering, and he said the street sweeper will grab it. In the morning, it bothered me so deeply that I went around the alley and came out slashing the tires and went back into the alley in my back gate.
That's definitely a Chicago move. My question is, does that constitute slashing someone's tires if they throw garbage in front of your house?
I don't know.
I think it's a little overboard. What do you think? Don't worry, your
I
haircut's
would,
not going to be any different if you give your true opinion. Okay.
I mean, slashing tires, if it was me, I'd firebomb your car, bro. Be littering up in my house.
Wow. New Type said, Ashley looks like she munches beef jerky on the daily.
What the hell does that even mean?
You got strong teeth, girl.
Well, I got beaver teeth. Anyways.
Not beaver, strong.
Your teeth, they look strong. Okay. You got another one?
I originally got into crypto because of Dogecoin. I was so dumb, I was chasing the pumps and memes, and I fell to the get-rich scheme. I dumped $4,000 into SafeMoon and saw it all disappear. I don't even know what that is. I still didn't learn my lesson, and I bought into Ethereum Max, dropped 3K into flipped to 10K and profits and saw it crash down. After that, I quit crypto because I decided to keep learning. I found blue chips and HBAR and never looked back.
How many people who enter crypto for the first time do you think that's their story is relatable?
Here's
you get in on a try to get rich quick because you hear it from friends. You get in on some bullshit memes.
It's not even crypto. It's just life, right?
Yeah.
You make a lot of bad investments, a lot of bad decisions. And so even if you came in and just bought Bitcoin and just straight hodled it and never sold, you probably did that because you burned so much money on some dumb crap, right? You probably went the first 30 years of your life squandering all the money you made and all the time you had into dumb shit. And so it's just part of life, right? You're not going to value a good investment until you know what a bad investment is. You're not going to value a good girlfriend until you had a couple bad ones. You're not going to value a good car until you had a couple crappy ones. You're not going to value a good trade until you've, got liquidated 37 times.
Speaking of, damn it.
Was there any other confessions?
No, everyone's being boring and not sending in.
Well, guys, don't be boring. Send it in.
Send it in now. You can read that one next week. So
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I got one more. This one's short.
Okay.
okay.
I misplaced 0 calculating gas fees on ETH on-chain transfer. $50 on-chain, $5 back. LMAO.
What?
$50 gas fee for $5 transaction?
Yes.
Been there.
You have?
Well, not that. Okay. Put it this way. I have.
Maybe you saw it and didn't go through with it, but if you went through with that transaction.
No, I'm saying we've all paid dumb gas fees. It's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. What I have done is I've put in $80 transaction or gas fee, and then the transaction failed.
Yeah.
$150 transaction, and then failed. So, yeah, I've done that one a few times.
I was really trying to take a shot at it.
Didn't you love Ethereum back in 2021 when you went to go send a transaction and it failed?
Bro.
But you spent like $80.
Bro, I minted these 2 NFTs and I spent 1 ETH when ETH was at $4,400 as a transaction fee. My dumbass paid $4,000 for a transaction fee.
How's that NFT doing, by the way?
So, guys, what I did want to talk about is AAVE. Today, AAVE Labs launches Horizon, a new RWA lending market on Ethereum, enabling institutions to borrow stablecoins against real-world assets. Here's a video. It's got no sound, but here's a video from this announcement. Institutions meet DeFi. Break free from TradFi. Access liquidity. Horizon is a new market for RWAs. Borrow against assets from Superstate, Centrifuge, the other one I didn't get to, with more coming soon from Van Eck and the like. Supply Go, RLUSD, and USDC. And earn yield from the borrowers live on Ethereum. AAVE, Horizon. Is AAVE going to be the one-stop shop, Rob, for institutions to put their ETH to work, to put their stable coins to work?
I don't know.
Huh? Okay,
I know. I'm just.
Why don't you know?
I don't know. AAVE hasn't delivered mainstream adoption to institutions yet.
They're fucking just got here. They're literally just starting to get here. What are you talking about?
Well, then exactly. My whole freaking point is that if you're sitting here saying, are they going to change the world? I'm like, they're still new. They still haven't got market adoption from the biggest companies. It's a great idea. It's the leader when it comes to DeFi lending. It seems like they're best positioned to capture that market and be the leader, but they're not quite there yet. I like how you asked me a question and don't like the answer. You want to only
it's a stupid answer.
So then why you ask me the question?
Because I'd like a better answer.
You want only the answer that is exactly the answer you're looking for.
At least have some backing with your thesis, bro.
My thesis isn't new. It's new, and you literally said why? Because it's new. I'm like, yes.
Okay.
And it's not even that new, anyways.
Exactly. My point. You just went against your own point. All right.
Well, what I mean is that the time that it's been around, it has not captured institutional market yet. Now, there are some institutional traders on there. I'm sure there are, whatever. Fine. I know there's big accounts on there. I'm not saying there isn't. But, I don't know. Maybe something else fills that void. I'm big in AAVE, man. I'm behind it.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Chainlink. AAVE or Chainlink? You have to pick one to hold for 5 years.
Oh, Link all day.
Okay. Guys, the continuing trend of treasury companies. Caliber has established a Link treasury and formed a crypto advisory board to oversee acquisitions, custody, and staking. Now, I will say this company their market cap's like $6 million. It's not a big company. It's not huge. But the thesis here and the what you take away from this is the continuing trend of treasuries. Something we saw coming, something we've been talking about, that it's been coming, it's here, and now Chainlink's getting one. And then on top of that, Chainlink themselves have their own reserve. And they just bought another 42,300 Link tokens. And as of today, they currently hold a smidge under 200,000 Link tokens in their treasury. And so you can go to this website, check out their, how much they're holding and kind of an update on their portfolio. But when you look at Link, let's pull up a Chainlink chart. Where are you? The Link. There you are. Chainlink. Let's look at the weekly. Seeing a little bit of a pullback on the weekly. Look at this gorgeous. I mean, does it get much more picture perfect than this, bro? Double bottom, W pattern. If you really want to round this out, say this is a cup and handle in progress currently. And so target for me, more downside is $22.18 for Chainlink. We can take a look at market side for B. Money flow is rapidly expanding on the weekly. Momentum oscillators kind of rolled over here, and the momentum wave looks like, if it continues, is going to fail to make a new high. That's on the weekly. Daily shows a little different. Shows a bounce on the momentum oscillators, shows a little bit of decline in the money flow, and shows VWAP is attempting to break above our net zero line. And then just to look at price action, you see that range is starting to get tight. Potential for a head and shoulders pattern here. And it looks like we need to clear this high. We need to clear $26.85. If we clear $26.85, this head and shoulders pattern is then null and void. But as of now, this could be a head and shoulders pattern. We're seeing a lot of bearish patterns on the daily and bullish patterns on weeklies. I did an HBAR video this morning. I showcased that on there as well. And then Chainlink here. If that rolls over, you're looking at, let's see what that measured move would be. We're bringing it down to around $20. $20. So, Rob, thoughts on the Chainlink treasury? Thoughts on Chainlink themselves buying? And I don't know, has your thesis changed at all?
I don't put much into the treasury. I just look at it like a whale buying, right? Someone said, hey, if someone bought $6 million worth of Chainlink, I'd be like, okay, cool. I think the U.S. government using Chainlink and also Pith as well as the Oracle service for GDP data, I think is absolutely should be the headline, right? I think that's the biggest takeaway. I think that's more important than the other 7 that were listed. Obviously, Chainlink has had very strong partnership or at least representation in government. I think that's why you're seeing a lot of buzz behind Chainlink and you're starting to see the price of it rally. It just started. Chainlink's previous all-time high was like $40, right? $45, almost $50, something like that.
No, it was $50.
Did it get to 50?
Yeah.
And so, where's Chainlink? Top 10, right there. So for me, you're looking at the chart. It's not a question of when. It's not a question of will it break out, but more when will it break out. That's how I look at Chainlink. My only concern is that it's maybe not the retail traders' favorite pick, just because it's just a lot of back end technology here that supplies data to governments now and also blockchains and connects other blockchains. So it's not the sexiest play. So I'm always a little hesitant to think it's going to be the one that performs the best during big pumps in a bull market. I believe in it long term. I just don't know if it's going to be that giant green candle, like, oh my God, Link's on fire kind of crypto.
This Link is on fire. So you know when you go to like the theme parks, they have those like drying machines. You go on like a water ride, you can step into the dryer, put like a couple bucks in, and it dries you. Well, they have them for dogs. See, it's a good drying, and this one's pretty chill. This one looks like it's literally drying. And then we have this, a breakthrough. Artists create hammerhead shark made entirely from hammerheads, to which someone replied, cool, now make a sperm whale. And so, yeah, what are your thoughts on the hammerhead sculpture there, Rob? And are you excited to see the sperm whale sculpture potentially in the very near future? No? No one? Ashley?
No.
No. Cool. All right. Awesome. Rob, let's take a look at the markets. What?
Right.
I didn't fucking make it.
Didn't say you did. All right. So,
I mean, I would make it. The sperm whale.
biggest gainer, 24 hours. Pith at the top. This is an Oracle. Not the biggest Oracle name.
Dude, I gotta go take a pith.
So, with Pith, the market cap, tiny, right? $1 billion market cap. However, this was at a $500 million market cap prior to the announcement today. And, well, you look, it went from straight 11 cents up to 20 cents. It 2x literally in 2 hours. And so that's off the news. Just shows you the power of the crypto markets when you have small market caps, right? You had something that was outside the top 100 that quickly entered into the top 100 just off of one headline. And I said it yesterday. I've said it last week. This is what you see out of the bull market routinely. It just happens over and over again. You get these giant green candles. Things just rally. Things 2x, 4x, 10x out of nowhere. And so, yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Also, Chronos still moving. You look at the movement we had yesterday. Yesterday during the show we were at 27 cents. We're at 30 cents. So it's not anything dramatic at the moment. But
Rob, Magic and I were actually discussing this on Tuesday. We were talking, and I was talking about waiting for a pullback. And he brought up the idea that hey, maybe this thing just runs, and it did. It got up to what, 37 cents?
Yes. Actually, I think I got up,
almost 40 cents.
38 cents.
Damn near 40 cents. I mean, that's a massive move. Here, look at this wick. Yeah, look at this wick. 39 cents. This is pretty massive. So, yeah.
And the thing is like you'll get pullbacks, but in a bull market, sometimes it's not till Bitcoin top. And that's not how it plays out when you're not in the thick of the bull market, right? Let's just say Solana goes from $20 to $50. Then it's going to probably pull back to 40, pull back to $38, and then continue on, right? And what you see sometimes when you're in the heat of the bull market is that you go from $20 to $40, there is no pullback. And then you go to 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And you're like, bro, I'm just waiting for an entry point. And your entry point is any point because it's just going vertical. You can look historically at Bitcoin. Not so much now, but it used to just fire off, right? Bitcoin used to go from $800 to $8,000. It used to go from $300 to $2,500.
Hold on. Let me go back to Crow real quick. Take a look at this. So if you just look at Market Cipher B, okay, Momentum Wave hit a new high, okay, but the oscillators, they failed to make a new high, and then they're starting to clip and push to the downside. And so this is your first indication that this rally is cooling off a little bit, but volume increased. And so it looks like 40 cents, which we talked about being a big key number for Chronos. And so I don't know. I just feel like they just keep announcing big news, and so I'd be very careful shorting this one if you are a trader.
I think Kronos smacks probably $2 sometime in the next year. I also think it's going to be very toppy. So when it gets to $2, I think it pulls right back down to 70 cents, something like that.
We love tops, the greatest tops. Okay, let's talk about some trades. Closed a trade yesterday or this morning. Bitcoin, we didn't catch the bottom exactly, but 110.8 enter, 113 exit for a profit of 49.3%. Those of you that are in our Discord, you got these signals, and so shout out to you. Also, if you're looking for another exchange, or maybe you're a first-time trader, you want to try it out, Weeks is a great place to go. There's a link in the description of the video. They're giving away $2 million, including that Bentley you see there. And so a big shout out to Weeks. Tons of liquidity, beautiful interface. Now, let's check on Rob's trade. Rob's trade. Where are you, Rob's trade?
It should be pretty flat.
Yeah, it should be pretty flat. Currently up 7%. It was up like 50% this morning. Any TP level you want me to put in here? I got $5.99. Any level you want me to have the trade close?
No, I still think.
You still think $6 by tomorrow?
It's really dependent on what you get out of Solana, right? And what we were talking about yesterday, if you look at Solana's price, so yesterday's show we were at 210. We saw Solana get up to 215, and during this window, when Solana was at 215, 213, it looked like it was going to break out to 220. Right around this time is when you saw the likes of Radium also start to take off. So you look at Radium's price. Where will Radium go? Did I pass it? Where's it at? There it is. So yeah, you saw here yesterday, Radium got as high as $3.96. It was knocking on the door of $4, and this was right at the same time that Solana was on the uptrend. So what I think, if Solana does break out today, if you get that 220 on Solana, Radium will cross the $4 threshold. It'll be in that 450 range, I would say.
So pretty much
$5.
not $6.
Well, I was expecting it to be a little higher today.
Okay.
And so,
I mean, even if it got to 450, it'd be a great trade.
yeah.
So yeah. All right, we'll keep our eye on that one. Let's see when we close it out. Are you done with the markets?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's listen to Devin Nunez. What's his position again? He's okay. Anyways, let's take a listen. Talking about Crypto.com, the partnership with Trump Media.
But you know, it's interesting, dating back on my intelligence work for some 2 decades in the Congress, crypto technology has been around a long time. And I think there was a slow adoption by many people around the world and others to get into crypto because, they didn't understand it. Would it be there? What would last? And I think we're really at just the beginning of all of this. And so what really changed, I think, is from what I can tell, is that if you were in the third world and you had bongo bucks that was a fiat currency, and I'm just being facetious there by saying that, but you would prefer to go into Bitcoin and then turn that somehow into a US dollar. So Bitcoin has maintained now for a long time. And then you have stable coins, which are basically tied to the dollar, which people are taking and then using those across platforms efficiently. That decided that, who do we go with that has size, has a great brand, has a wallet, has their own exchange, and has a utility token that is in existence. And that's how we came to Crypto.com with their CRO token. We're in the process of adopting that on our platform. It's been used on their platform for many years. It has around a $6 billion approximately market cap. So we wanted to go with someone that we could attach our name to, work with to grow this out in the long run. We think this is going to be, obviously an American company, the treasury company that we set up. So this is a joint venture between both Crypto.com and Trump Media Group, forming a new company. Has to get approved by the SEC. But that company will be a treasury. All it will hold is CRO, Chronos. And many, like a lot of people are familiar with the Bitcoin treasury that's out there.
So he listed all the reasons why they chose Chronos. It's got its own wallet, it's got users, it's got a platform, and it's got a coin. Now, Rob, do you think, does this set up companies like Coinbase and Kraken to look at this and say, shit, maybe we need a coin? Maybe we need an eco. I know Coinbase has Base. Does this push them for a Base token, a Base token? Does this push Kraken to launch their own L1 or L2 and potentially have a Kraken token? I mean, because if you look at it, what other ones were available? OKB, but they're not U.S. Binance, but they're not U.S. So who else is there?
Crypto.com's not U.S. either. Just throwing it out there.
Yes, you're technically correct.
They have an exchange that operates in the U.S., a UI that's U.S. They got a very popular app in the U.S., but we got it twisted. Not a U.S.-based company. Which I agree with you. The first thing I think of is like, yeah, when's the next? Who else is going to launch their next exchange token? I don't think Coinbase does though, because they have stock, right? Their stock in itself almost.
But
acts
Crypto.com has talked about going public.
I know. I'm not saying that you can't have both. I'm just saying that
It's less likely.
I don't see it. Honestly, if they had the base chain and development and it wasn't out and we were in this environment that we're at now, they'd be like, you know what? Let's launch base ecosystem and let's power it with the base token. That would make sense. However, the base chain already operates. It doesn't use a token. So what the hell would their token do? Represent shares of a company? They already have a stock. I mean, just explain to me, what would Coinbase do with their token? What would their token be used for?
Making money.
They already make a killing.
Well, they would move, they would settle in the base token versus Ethereum token. They would have pairings with base token instead of Ethereum, instead of wrapped ETH.
They already
Transaction
make
fees.
money on the stable coins going from pairs, right?
Well, they also make money. They charge a fee.
I know, but the fee so
but it's not nearly as lucrative as having your own token that you can mint and keep as many as you'd like. You see what I'm saying?
But they can also issue shares at any time they want, right? So they already have that represented. If they didn't have the base chain, then I'd be like, great. You know what? Launch an ecosystem, launch base chain, power it with the token, but it's already out. There's no token associated with it, so you don't need it there. You can already sell parts of your company and have share and issue out stock with your stock. And so I don't think they need it, dude.
I think if Crypto.com goes public, Coinbase will launch a token.
But what I'm saying is that what are they going to do with the token?
I just told you.
Offer it as a trading pair for liquidity that nobody needs?
What do you mean?
Okay, you can trade in base
They're
token.
literally going to mint billions of dollars right away.
But what does it do for the user? If you were the
Who gives
user...
a fuck about the user? This is a company that wants to make money.
But exchange tokens have some kind of use case to them.
Correct.
BNB's has a use case. Crow has a
It
use
would be
case.
the use case of the pairings would be with base instead of wrapped Ethereum.
But
Liquidity.
the base token isn't a stable coin.
I know it would be its own token. Just like
So you're saying it would be wrapped,
it wouldn't be wrapped, it would be its own token.
so you would have to buy their
Correct.
token to exchange,
So whatever's-
and leave the liquidity that of Ethereum and try to push people to your
There's
own.
ways of bridging.
It doesn't
There's
make
yeah,
sense, bro.
it happens all the time. It
doesn't
makes
make
total sense from the
How
company
many times
from the
have
company
you? How many
standpoint.
times have you bought any crypto or Bitcoin or Ethereum with some very obscure token?
Never.
Exactly.
But you're making a dumb argument.
But what I'm saying is that their bread and butter is their deep liquidity for their exchange.
Okay, when I swap virtuals and I want to sell it, I sell it into wrapped ETH because it's on base. If they have a base token, I would swap it into the base token and then base token to stablecoin. Unless it has a liquidity pair of virtual straight to USDC, which it does. Just giving an example. And so sure, from the user, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
But from the company, it makes total sense.
Everything that they've done up until this point has been for the users and been for the benefit of blockchain. And they have yet to exploit. Now, they've listed some meme tokens,
Rob.
But they've also been the smallest of meme tokens. They make their money off of fees, bro.
Rob, but why do you think that is? It was because of the SEC. They're fucking listing garbage no one even knows about.
Before the SEC was the stranglehold department that they were, Coinbase had an opportunity to be sleazy and get easy money, and they didn't. They were the one that they always
really
said, like,
couldn't though.
They could have.
No, they couldn't have.
They could have.
Rob, let me ask you a question.
They could have went the Binance route with all the listings.
You're Coinbase, okay? And every single day, you get 50 people that come to you, 50 projects say, we want to pay your listing fee to get listed. And you have to say no, and no, and no, and no, and no. And now, you know, the SEC is not going to do shit. You're going to keep saying no? Absolutely not. You're already starting to see it. Look at their roadmap of tokens they're going to put on their platform.
They're going to make money. They've made money. They also are kind of like the blue chip, like, hey, lead by example kind of company, right? They're the ones that are supporting legislation. They're bringing people into Congress to discuss progressive legislation. They go out on campaign trails, try to get crypto-friendly politicians elected. They make a lot of commercials. They went up against the SEC and just threw tons of money at it. When they got hacked, what was it? Hacked or exploited. Instead of paying the ransom, they offered the ransom out to anyone for information, leading to an arrest of the perpetrators. And so they operate in a different way, bro. And I don't think that they're going to issue out a token that serves no use to the user just to make some money. I don't, bro. You can laugh at it all you want, bro, but I don't see Coinbase issuing out a base token that serves no use case, can't be used on their own chain as the gas fee. It just makes no sense to me, bro.
It would be used as a gas fee. All right, we'll revisit this. My prediction is if Crypto.com goes public, Coinbase launches their own token. So somebody timestamp that shit. We'll come back to it in I don't know how long. All right. I think that's all I got. Yeah, that's all I got. Anyone else? Ashley?
Mm-mm.
What is all these yeses from Amy?
I don't know. Someone said no. So now someone's saying yes. I don't know what's going on.
How come no one's saying maybe?
Maybe you should.
That'll do it for the show today. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Make sure to go check out our Hedera video we just posted. Yeah, that's all I got. Hold on, Is Rob just on the show for David to belittle Top Craft 2 and argue? Yes, 100%. That is what the foundation of the show is. That is what we were founded upon. You should have seen the text threads from 5 years ago when we were working and had some employees. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, Gina, roll the outro. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Come back tomorrow right here, and we'll do another amazing show where I belittle Rob. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why say it to the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us meme coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya.